Alright, what's going on, guys? I've got another gold guide video for you today. It's the Scar 17, which is kind of upsetting because I hated using this gun. I did not like it at all. I was kind of hoping that the Scar would be like the MW2 Scar, but I did not feel like it to me. I did not enjoy using this gun at all. The builds, I was having trouble with them. Um, I was constantly from leveling this gun and getting it golden. Every single game, after every game, I was going into the gunsmith, just screwing around with it, trying to make it work, and it was terrible for me. I'll hop in the gunsmith and show you guys my different builds. If you guys just want a specific build, I'll have the timestamps in the description. I usually put those in there in case you guys are just looking for specific builds. But yeah, so those timestamps will be down below, and I'll hop over and show you guys the first build. Alright, so here's the kills build. You can see this gun looks kind of weird. I basically built this gun for ADS speed because right off the bat, if you guys were using this default, it's got a terrible ADS speed compared to using something like the M4 or the Kilo. It's basically overall worse than the M4 and Kilo. The only upside to this gun is that it's got more damage per bullet, I believe. But that doesn't make up for the fact that it shoots slow, it's got a lot of recoil, and it seems like it's heavy. Like when you're running around, you run around real slow. So I basically just try to chip away those downsides and try to just make them just try to make them better. So a lot of these attachments, I think, okay, no. So I was worried about some of these attachments being, yeah, the barrel is the last one you unlock, but the stock, second one I'm using the collapsible stock. It's gonna help with your movement speed and your ADS speed. I was really just looking for, basically just anything that would help me move around faster and draw faster. So the stock helped me with both movement speed and aim down sight speed. It's only the second stock, which is nice. The stippled grip tape, it's the first grip you get, and it's gonna help with your sprint to fire speed and your ADS speed. Where aiming stability isn't that big of a deal to me, because although it's pretty hard to do in this game, and I get punished for doing it a lot, but I like the run and gun. It's always how I played Call of Duty. It's how I play most of my shooters. I hate camping. It's just boring to me. So aiming stability, I'm not walking around just aiming everywhere. I usually just run around. I'm kind of that player that jumps around the corners, and a lot of times that's going to get me killed in this game, but it's just how I play. So that's why I'm using that grip, and it's the first grip you get, so that's always helpful. Commando foregrip. It's going to help with your recoil stabilization. This thing, like I said, this thing kicks a lot. That's going to help out with that. Aiming stability, again, not that, to me, it's not that big of a deal, but it is a bonus. I guess I should mention why I'm not using them, because I usually use the Merc foregrip. It really comes down to, I don't actually know why I'm using the Commando foregrip over the Merc foregrip. I guess it's the ADS speed. I wanted to keep my ADS speed, because I definitely wanted to use the Commando over. So I guess that's something you guys can experiment with when you guys are using this gun. So for me personally, why I didn't use the Merc foregrip, which is usually what I use on all my ARs for the kills build, is I wanted to speed up the ADS speed, where you can see the Commando doesn't have a con of ADS where the Merc does. So if you guys are like, say you don't play like how I play, you're not as active as me. You're kind of just laying back, aiming at the corners, holding corners. Try out the Merc foregrip, and that might work out for better for you. So moving on to laser. Again, my favorite laser, 5 milliwatt. Helps with your hip fire more so than the one, and it's gonna help with your sprint to fire speed. Now, this is another thing that you guys can experiment with, is the attack laser. Like I said, this gun's got terrible ADS speed. And as you can see, the other two attributes to this are aiming stability and aim walking steadiness. So if you guys are more passive, you guys play holding angles, playing corners, try using the attack laser instead of the 5 milliwatt. You're gonna have to wait a little bit longer because it's a later unlock, but that might be more useful for you guys. And then this is by far the best barrel, in my opinion, for anything that's not ground war, I should say. It'll help with your ADS speed and your movement speed. Two big things for this gun. Your recoil control, it does minus that, which sucks, but if it didn't, then this barrel would be way better, and which, in my opinion, is way better than these other two. But that's it for this. Max out attachments for your Tiger camo. I always recommend for the kills build to have max attachments to work on that tiger camo. But I'll hop into the Hipfire build. Alright, so here's a Hipfire build. Gun looks completely different than it did for the kills build. I'll be honest with you guys, I have no idea how I use this gun. Once I got gold for the Scar, it's been a couple days now, I didn't want to make a video on it right away. I hate this gun, which I hate because, like, in any other game, I enjoy using it. I like the way it looks, but in this game, I don't like it at all. So I don't remember if playing core compared to hardcore is better for Hipfire, which usually I do. I'd imagine it would. I imagine that that's what I did, just because I still built the gun to the same strengths, being Hipfire and basically sprint to fire speed. I don't have a suppressor on it, as you can see, which I usually do for Hipfire kills. But getting into the actual attachments, perks, sleight of hand. Again, I don't know if you guys have seen any of my other videos and where I talk about the Hipfire build. Shoot more bullets because you're gonna not be as accurate because you're not ADSing. So you want to be able to reload in case there's more guys coming. You want to reload faster, so you put sleight of hand on. Going back to that same exact principle, you're shooting more. You might not hit as many shots. 30-round mag is actually the extension round because the Scar only has 20 bullets. So you go from 20 to 25 to 30. So just keep bumping that up as you unlock them. Stippled, not stippled, grip tape. It's going to help with your sprint to fire speed compared to these, which you're basically, those are only going to help with your aiming, and this is going to help again with your aiming. So this is a big bonus for when you're running around and you're trying to draw faster. That's what stippled grip tape is going to help you with, that being sprint to fire speed. Merc foregrip, same thing as always, helps with your hipfire accuracy. The only grip that's going to help with your hipfire accuracy. I guess maybe a bipod foregrip is going to help with crouching, but I don't know that's considered crouching hipfire accuracy. But so that's the foregrip I'd use. Got my baby, the 5 milliwatt laser. Same benefits as always. Hipfire is a little bit better. You can see when I swap over to the 1 milliwatt, you can see right here being reduced because the hipfire is not as good. And it's going to help with your sprint to fire speed. Only downside to this being that enemies can see it, and it's pretty easy to see. So the same rule applies. If you guys are having trouble getting killed around corners by people pre-firing you because they see your laser, swap over to the 1 milliwatt laser, and that'll help you with that. And that's actually it. I didn't realize I loaded up these bottom attachments, but yeah, 5 attachments to help with your tiger camo as always. Yeah, I wish I could tell you more. I wish I could tell you if it was hard or easy, whether I played core or not. I don't remember. I don't remember it being too big of a deal. I remember the other camos being harder, but I don't know. I just didn't enjoy using this gun. But swapping over to the reload build, this I remember actually wasn't that bad, but I think that's just because I've got down this reload system. I hated, right when this game came out, I hated doing this reload challenge so much, but for the ARs, I'm kind of getting a system down where it's getting to be pretty easy. I can knock it out in a couple games. And you guys want to know what that is? Again, I always build my guns for this reload camo for, let's see, it's basically recoil reduction, damage range extension, and that's it. And I mean reload speed. But that's really, reload speed, you're only using sleight of hand, so it's not that big of a deal. But getting in the perks again, 5 out of 5 for your tiger camo, sleight of hand, because you need to reload fast. Rubberized grip tape, let's see why I'm using this. For recoil control, where this aiming stability could be useful, but hardly. All aiming stability is when you're aiming down sight. Your reticle, if you see it bouncing around, that's aiming stability. Whether it's bonus, I mean, if you get a bonus for aiming stability, it's going to make it not bounce around as much. A con, it's going to bounce around more. So that could help you, but recoil is bigger. It's a bigger benefit to me. And then aiming, walking steadiness, you're not going to be aiming and walking really with this. At least with this specific build. You guys, again, can mix and match and figure out how to make it, adjust it to your playstyle. I mean, this might not work as good for you guys as it did for me. But I'm not using stippled grip tape, which I usually do, because I don't need to worry about ADS speed and sprint to fire speed, because I'm not being mobile. Just being a camper. Ammo, you don't need extended mags. I always say this in every video. You only have a grace period to get that kill. It's basically just enough for one kill. So once you reload, you basically only have enough time to get one kill, which means you don't need as much ammo. And with constantly reloading, you don't really ever need that much ammo. I always rock a bipod, and in this case for the Scar, it's a bipod foregrip. It's just gonna help when you're laying down, which is always what I'm doing when I'm going for this challenge. I just lay down because it's gonna help with the recoil. Just the different positions. If you weren't aware, I believe it's effect in this game. It's in almost every single shooting video game. But standing, your recoil is gonna be more crazy. Crouching, it'll be a little bit better, more manageable. Laying down, it'll be even more manageable. So I always get put on a bipod because I'm almost always laying down. Because you want that, you want your recoil to be as manageable as possible, because you need to kill that guy as fast as possible after reloading. So I always use a bipod. Your optic, I usually say that you guys can rock the two. I always say it. This is my favorite sight in the game for right now. I like the magnification. You could put on the sniper scopes. These two, variable zoom and the just sniper scope in general. The only downside is it's going to give away your position. It doesn't actually say it here, but just like if you've played against any sniper, you can see the little glint if they're using a scope. The same thing matters with the AR. If you have a scope on it, they'll see the little glare. So that's why I use the 4x flip hybrid, because it's not going to give away your position. And then always you want to extend your barrel, because it's always going to help with your damage range. It usually helps with recoil control and bullet velocity, which for ground war actually matters, because when you're shooting at a long distance, the bullet velocity is actually going to play into effect compared to like the 10v10 Dom maps. But that's it. 5 out of 5 attachments again to take advantage of trying to work towards that tiger camo. I usually have it by now, because I usually save this challenge for last because I don't like it. But yeah, these are the 3 builds. I don't know. This gun I was not a fan. But if you guys want any tips, if there's anything you guys want help with, have any questions about, just, again, leave your questions, comments down in the comment section below. I'll get back to them. But that's gonna be it for this video, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.